Good evening, everybody. Welcome in to Coach's Corner East. I'm at the Galion Pizza Hut on November 3rd and glad to have you aboard. And on tonight's show, we have a little bit of a different show, a unique show, but one that I am certainly looking forward to. Our show is brought to you in part by Lee Plymouth and Brad Seibert at the Plymouth Insurance Group, Galion and Bucyrus, North Central State College, Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center, North Walnut Street, across from the courthouse in Bucyrus. Phil and Sue Schreck at Phil's Deli, just east of the Pizza Hut at the bridge here in Galion. A little later tonight, it'll be Crestline, and it'll be their cheerleading program coming in to talk tonight and talk about the things that they do as a cheer squad. Coming up prior to that, it'll be Colonel Crawford. We'll talk to them about their football game last week in Week 11. Big win over Cardinal Stritch. Moving on this week on the road at Ashland Crestview coming up on Saturday. And to kick things off, it's the Galion cheer squad coming off their football season, getting prepared for the basketball season. Our show is brought to you in part by Steve Kurtzman and Associates at Innovative Recycling, 352 South Street in Galion. Candy Bolin at Bolin Realty, 2 blocks west of the Uptown Galion Square, and John Cross at Cross Carpet and Custom Floors, 302 North Seltzer Street in downtown Crestline. And it's a pleasure to welcome to the microphone tonight. It's head cheer coach Michaela Hackett from Dalton, Ohio. All these people that are watching from Wayne County, it's not Dalton, it is Dalton. Right. I'm a fellow Wayne County. We talked about that off the air. Thanks for coming out tonight. So glad to have you aboard.
Great, thanks for having us. We're excited.
Absolutely. So you've been at Galion as a cheer coach for how long now?
This will be my 3rd year.
3rd year, okay. And I think I heard you say you did some JV first.
Yeah, my first year was with Anna Matney, and I was the JV coach. She was the head coach. In the last 2 years, I have been the head varsity coach.
Really good. And how's that experience been to transition from JV to varsity? Because let's face it, during football season, there are not a lot of fans that get up Saturday morning, especially late in the fall, and go to a JV game. Basketball, there's some, but it usually gets bigger crowds as the varsity game starts. How's that transition been for you?
It's a little bit more exciting, I have to say, because, I mean, there's more people there, like you said. Typically, our varsity squads are a little bit larger, so we can just do more things as far as, like, formations and things like that.
Now, I suspect that you were a cheerleader at Dalton?
I was. I was a cheerleader at Dalton, and I went to Mount Union and cheered there, and then to the University of Akron, so...
Outstanding.
I've been around a little bit cheering.
So you cheered at Akron as well?
Yes, the University of Akron.
So talk about, for those that may be interested, that are watching and listening in, on what it takes, because we know from an athletic standpoint, going from high school to college is a big jump. How is it from a cheer standpoint? How much more demand is it than what you expected when you were in high school?
I would definitely say it is a lot more demanding, but I would recommend it to absolutely everyone. If you're even considering it, 100% go for it. I made some of the best relationships in my whole life. I mean, one of my cheerleaders, former teammates, it was my maid of honor in my wedding. So 100% I say do it. It gets you involved, and it's just a really great experience, and I'll have those memories forever. And
at Mount Union, you were probably part of some football championships, weren't you?
Oh, yes.
Alonzo's Stag Bowl,
yep,
right?
Yep, the Stag Bowl, so yep.
And what was that like to cheer for a championship team?
It was great. I mean, we did a lot of push-ups because after every touchdown you did those push-ups, so my arms were very in shape that year, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you don't follow college football at the Division III level, Mount Union scores a ton of points.
A lot.
So if you're doing push-ups, you did have some pretty big arms, I'm sure. Talk about how many girls that you had on the squad this year during football.
We had about 17. I think we ended up with 17. We did have one leave in the middle of the season. She moved. But yeah, so we had about 17 this year.
And basketball, it'll be?
Same. We're going to have 17 this year.
Same group. Now, is it always the same girls or not necessarily so?
Not necessarily. Like you see Zayna and Ava here. They are also cross-country runners. We have a lot of multi-sport athletes. So they will be joining us for basketball, and then we lose 2 that are going on to other things in the spring.
Okay, and that's tough. I mean, when you only have them for one season, that's a tough thing to get through. And we had talked off the air about your competition team. You also have a competition team, because my next question was, do they have to be able to tumble to be on the squad? Well, if you have a competition team, you got to do a lot of different things. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we have a competition squad. We started it last year. We did fantastic last year. It was awesome. And then this year, that was 2 years ago. And then this year, our squad's a little bit smaller, but we're still doing everything we need to. There is a little bit of tumbling in there. There's a little bit of jumps. I mean, it's just a lot of everything. Anna Matney, our former coach, does our music, and it's a lot of fun, and our girls really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's a really big part, because when I talk to guys, especially the football team, and I'll often say to them, enjoy the experience, because there's nothing that beats Friday nights, whether it be a football game or a basketball game. You only get so many paydays in sports, and I don't care if it's cross country or whatever you do, track, you only get so many paydays. But as cheerleaders, you only get so many times that you get to be in front of the crowd in great environments. And so it is really special. And I don't care if it's cheerleaders or the band or the game itself, it's all part of that experience. Talk about that a little bit.
I mean, it's definitely kind of our time to shine. I mean, when you're a cheerleader, you're always at another event. I mean, yes, the people are obviously also there to see you, but at the competitions, I mean, they're there to see us, and we can do, you know, everything that we prepared for so hard for, and everybody gets to see our hard work.
Of course, any physical sport, you think of running, jumping, you need to be strong, you need to be in the weight room to be successful. Do you guys hit the weight room as well?
Not necessarily, no. But we do a lot of conditioning, especially in the summer. We're up running bleachers. We have these very fun things called kick jacks that I love to make the girls do. So yeah, we definitely do some conditioning, but not necessarily in the weight room, no.
Yeah, and because girls can get injured. I mean, girls or guys, whoever are doing the cheers and the things that they do, you see sometimes with knee braces and things along that line. So it can be a physical sport for sure. Do you offer mini cheer for, like, as kind of a thing to get girls at the elementary age ready and to see what that experience is like on a Friday night?
We do have a program in Galion called the Galion Youth Cheerleading. It's run with the Galion Youth Football. We help them out sometimes, and they are invited to our clinic. We have a clinic every fall where the girls get to come and have a night on the track. They get a t-shirt. We have a clinic. It's a lot of fun. So our programs do work closely together. Yeah.
Now, as the varsity cheerleading coach, do you get much involved with the junior high girls, or do you kind of stay your distance and let that coach take care of business?
Well, we are kind of all one program together within our athletic department, and so I do know the middle school coach. I helped hire her. She's fantastic. And our programs do, again, work together. Like, they come up and they help us with our Pee-wee nights. I mean, they're a great group of girls, and they do help us out.
When you're going through the tryouts and you know the girls, do you teach at the school?
I do.
Okay, what do you teach?
I'm a science intervention specialist.
At what level?
High school.
High school, okay, very good. So you know these girls, you're around them, but what do you look for specifically? Is it more the physical side? Is it a personality trait? Is it bubbliness? What is it that you search for when you say, hey, I think she or he maybe could be a great cheerleader?
Absolutely. I just want girls that are hard workers, that are dedicated, and all four of these girls here, I mean, show all those characteristics. And then obviously you want them to be positive. They are the leaders in the building. You want them to get everybody excited at the game, be cheerful, happy, so yeah. Very
good. Take a break here before we talk to the young ladies around the table. We're brought to you in part by Terry Gribble and Associate at your Galion Community Center YMCA. Dr. Erica Schieber at Bucyrus Veterinary Service, 222 West Mary Street in Bucyrus. Rod Steiger and Associates here at the Pizza Hut in Galion, as well as Bucyrus, our host of the show since 1992. And Luann Krebs at River's Edge Embroidery, screen printing and signs, sponsor of our phone board t-shirts, and certainly appreciate them very, very much. First, we're going to go to Ava Smith and all seniors here tonight. And Ava, thanks so much for being a part of the program, and glad you stopped out tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And first and foremost, I want to touch on something with you and both Zayna as well. Congratulations on an outstanding cross-country season. I know you're sending at least one to state this weekend, right?
Yeah, Chad Taylor.
Yeah.
He's awesome, yep.
And we wish him good luck, certainly coming up this weekend. And a great year for you. I'm sure a lot of great memories. But tonight we're talking about cheering. And how many years have you cheered at Galion?
Actually, I've cheered for about 12 years. I've cheered since I was very, very small. The earliest I could.
Yeah, okay, very good. And as you think about that and you look back and we wish it would have been a little more successful football season, and we had some rain games and lightning games and things like that. But all in all, kind of encapsulate what cheering for football at Galion meant to you at a beautiful park at Heisey Park. How important was that to you?
Well, I actually don't cheer for football.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay, all right.
I only cheer for basketball, yeah.
That's right. You don't, because of cross country.
Yes.
Okay, so basketball season, what are you looking forward to this year?
Definitely, I'm glad some of the restrictions are kind of going to be gone.
Yeah.
I know last year they weren't able to cheer with the band. They weren't able to do a lot of stuff, so we're definitely happy to have the band back. we love dancing. That's my favorite part. So, and I'm excited to have a crowd back because that definitely changes the energy.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, when you can get them involved, it just makes you want to do more. When you were in empty stands last year or parents only, they got masks on, maybe you had masks, I'm sure it took away from it. So I hope you enjoy your senior year of basketball.
Thank
and
you.
As we talked off air here, I'd like to give some kind of obscure questions, and I'll get yours coming back. But favorite, if I were to look at your iTunes or whatever stream you have, what is your favorite artist? Who do you listen to more than anybody?
I don't know if I have a favorite artist, but like genre.
Genre, yeah.
Genre, okay, yeah. So I've definitely been listening to a lot of country recently, but I used to not like it at all. But that is my jam right now.
All right, very good. Well, congratulations and good luck this year. I appreciate it. Next up, we have Ashlee Ovis, right?
Yes.
Did I pronounce that correctly, Ashley?
Yep, you did.
And how many years cheering for you?
I've actually been cheering 12 as well. Ava and I have been friends since we both started cheering. We were on the same squad, so we've stuck together this whole time.
That's fantastic, and kudos to you for sticking through it, because it's not easy to do that long.
It definitely is not.
Yeah, so, and you did football this year, correct?
I did do football this year.
And again, kind of that disappointment of the season from a win-loss, but still, what a great experience. You got homecoming, and you get to do all these great things. When that last game in the tournament last week, and it wasn't a great night, you're up in Clyde, it was windy, it was raining.
Definitely.
When the final whistle blew and you knew your career as a football cheerleader was over, how did that affect you?
It was honestly an experience that I've never felt. I've never felt any emotions like that. I was having a really fun game. I was just having so much fun, and I was like, I'm going to try not to cry. I'm going to make it through. And I called my last chant, and I turned around, and the clock was at 0, and it just hit me. And I was just bawling on the sidelines. And so was Mel. We were both crying, and it was just hard. But I know that I have a big future ahead of me, so.
Yeah, and I appreciate that raw emotion, because I think that's part of that people who may not be involved with extracurriculars really understand and can fully wrap their head around. But it's very important. It's a very big part of your life. So now you transition into basketball. You get ready to have student sections and things back there. How much do you guys as a cheering unit really work with the student section and come up with themes and things like that?
We work really hard to involve the student section as much as possible. We actually have a certain couple of girls who work to create the themes for all the games. And this season we're going to ask for their input, so we're going to get as much input as possible. And we go over and do a ton of cheers with the student section during timeouts and stuff, so we involve them a lot with the game.
Very good. Well, enjoy your senior year.
Thank you.
For you, we're a couple weeks away from Thanksgiving.
Yes.
What is your go-to Thanksgiving food that you have to have?
Mashed potatoes, 100%.
I ask that question a lot with young ladies, and it's either that or rolls. It's always either mashed potatoes
Yes, definitely. Rolls would be second place, but definitely mashed potatoes.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for
Thank
coming
you
out. I
so
appreciate
much.
it. You bet. Next up, Melanie Wheeler is here. Melanie, thanks for joining us tonight. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, glad to be here.
Are you one of the 12-year participants as well?
No, I have been cheering for 10 years, so not quite as long, but still a pretty long time.
What got you into this?
What got me into this? My sister also graduated from Galion. She cheered full 12 years, and at first I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it, but about second grade I was like, nope, put me in it, and I've stuck with it ever since. I just love it.
What's been the best part of the experience?
Oh my goodness. My favorite part, well, first of all, I'm a competitive dancer as well here in town at Eagle Dance Center. So I love dancing with the band and everything, but I also love just being involved with the school, involved in the community, and just all the events that we get to put on or help out with. It just brings me so much joy.
That's fantastic. And sometimes I know cheerleading or maybe band is overlooked, and it shouldn't be, because, again, it's an integral part. If you were talking to somebody that maybe is thinking about, should I or shouldn't I, what advice would you give them?
Game day is not just about the sport that is playing. I wholeheartedly believe that. The cheerleaders are a part of game day. The band is a part of game day. It would not be the same without the student section or the crowd. So if you are even considering not maybe joining a sport or joining the band, but just going to the game to watch, absolutely go. Like, it is such a big part of the whole experience altogether.
Fantastic. I really appreciate that. Enjoy basketball season and competition coming up.
Yes.
So what is Melanie binge watching right now?
I am on a Criminal Minds binge right now. Not gonna lie, I'm on season 5. I've been watching it for maybe a month, It's a little embarrassing, but I'm addicted.
So I was a little concerned with asking that question because if you were going to say Squid Games, I was just going to be kind of.
I actually did not watch that. I tried to watch the first episode and was not a fan.
Okay, very good. Well, thanks for the review. I appreciate it. And finally up, Zayhaha Tate is here. And Zayhaha, thanks for coming. And it's good to see you again. We talked last year during cross country. Again, congratulations on another excellent cross country year at Galion. And unfortunately, you're not making it to state, but what a great season and a great career.
Thank you. Thanks for having us too.
And you bet. And now you're going to transition into basketball.
Yes.
And even though you didn't do football, what do you like about being a basketball cheerleader other than the fact you don't get cold and rained on?
That is definitely a perk of basketball season. Let me tell you, because I do not like the cold. Mm-hmm. But I love the student section too, because during basketball season it's a lot easier to have a student section, because during football season our student section is like lined up along the edge of the field, which is super fun like when you're close, but we're not close to the cheerleaders. Right. So I obviously love cheering with the cheerleaders even during basketball season. So it's super fun to have the student section right there with us and to be able to interact with the crowd more and be closer to them. Okay. And basketball season is intense, especially when you go on the road. What is your favorite visiting gym to go to and least favorite visiting gym to go to?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Ooh, I don't know.
I think
in my head, the only gym that like stands out in my mind is Clear Fork for some reason, but I think that's mostly because the last time I was there, it was on my birthday.
That'll do it.
But that's the one sticking out in my mind right now.
And it's got to be fun to go to Shelby because their student section is really intense, and that's got to be fun, I would think.
Yeah, it is fun there too, and they have a nice gym floor because I tumble a lot. Like I'm tumbling like the whole entire time basically, so gym floor very much matters for the pain going through my body when I do that. I'm sure, rather than a hard rock kind of floor. Yes, some floors are very difficult to tumble on. Yeah, well, enjoy your senior year. Thanks for coming out. And your question is, TikTok, overrated or underrated? That's actually a difficult question because sometimes I'm like, nah, TikTok, I gotta delete it. But overall, I think TikTok is underrated. I like it. It gives room for creativity. There you go. Very good. Well, thanks for coming out. I certainly appreciate it. You bet. We're going to take a break here before we come back and talk to Coach. Our show is brought to you in part by Don Barr & Associates at Galion Building Loan Bank, Matt Studer at Spitzer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Kia 1 mile east of the Richland Mall, Mark Osborne & Associates at E-Crane International, serving worldwide markets from the Galion Industrial Park. Back to the microphone we go with head cheer coach at Galion High School. It's Michaela Hackett. And Coach, I had asked you the question about how you select these girls and talking about personality, and I can tell you, I feel I'm a pretty good judge of character, and these girls have personality. To be with a microphone in their hand and not be jittery, they nailed it, and you should be very proud of them because I could see their personality come out. I could see and hear through their voice their enthusiasm, and I think that's probably what it takes to be a really good cheerleader and to lead people into getting hyped up, right? Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head. You did a good job with that. They're a good group of girls. Yeah, so in the times that you've been a cheer, and I know you're not out there doing it, do you have a favorite place that you like to go, either a football environment or a basketball environment that you really, really like? I really don't like the cold, but I will say there's just something about Friday night under the lights football game in like September weather. I would say that I really like that. But I mean, basketball's fun too. I mean, it's just a lot closer. I think it's sometimes even louder and there's just a lot more energy. So I like both. So basketball season kicks off, or tips off, I guess you should say, right around Thanksgiving, a little after, although I think Galion doesn't start till the 1st of December, the 3rd or something along that lines. So what are you doing with the group now to kind of, is there kind of that waiting period where we're giving you a little break from football and getting you ready for basketball, or did you go right into it? Well, I gave them 1 week, and our competition girls didn't even get that week break. So I don't want to sound like a slave driver, but they are back in it. We're having practices every week now again, and we are creating hello cheers, we're creating our sets, we're creating our run-throughs, all sorts of things that we need to be ready for our first basketball game. Talk about the competition. When will that season kick off for you? It has already kicked off. We have been to two competitions. We have received second place at both of them. We do have a competition next Saturday, November 13th at Mansfield. That starts around noon, and we're really going for first place this time. We made a couple tweaks to our routine, and I think we're ready to go. And those can be intense, can't they? Very much so. Yeah. Is there nerves involved, I'm sure? Absolutely. There's nerves, there's tears, there's everything. So, yeah. I used to say I used to officiate football for a long time, and I always felt that
I don't care if I was doing a junior high game or a varsity playoff game. I wanted to give them the best game I possibly could, and I got nervous for 7th grade games, and I felt that if you're not nervous, you don't care.
Right.
And I suspect that's probably the same thing here as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, it sounds like you got a good, strong hold on this group, and hopefully many more to come down the future. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, and I guess I would ask you, if there was only one restaurant on the face of the planet left, what would it have to be for Michaela Hackett?
I knew you'd ask this or something.
Can be anything.
Could be anything. You know what? I am a big fan of the winking lizard, and I know they don't have a lot of those around here,
Yeah.
but the winking lizard really has a special place in my heart. I think got some good food.
I was actually hoping you were going to say Bishops and Worcester, but
No, sorry.
or maybe Gurn Heights Drive-In.
Nope, sorry.
Or the Dalton Dairyette.
The Dalton Dairyette, I will give a shout out to them though. They're fantastic. Anytime you're going down 30, you have to stop.
Straight up.
Always make the stop.
Very good. Well, gals, thanks for coming out tonight. And if you could look at the camera and give a big Go Tigers, I would appreciate it.
Go Tigers!
Thanks so much. Good luck this year. You did a great job, and I appreciate you. We look forward to having you back.
Thank
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
You bet. We'll take a break. It's Colonel Crawford right after this timeout.